And the field will be coming to pit road, and now we're going to see some tire strategy perhaps on some of these cars. Mark Martin, by the way, in the 0-1, the lucky dog, will come around, be the 30th car on the lead lap. Montoya trying to get out of the way down there on pit road. Here comes a lot of traffic. Lindsay.
Carl Edwards had said before he was too loose to be competitive. They're going to bring his car in, and here will be some tire strategy because they're just going to give him 2 tires and fuel. Matt.
Jimmy Johnson leading the rest of the leaders down pit road, making his way to his stall. Johnson's in his car, still 2-3 on exit. He slides to a stop, off 4 and off 2. Chad Knaus calling for another air pressure change to Marty.
Kurt Busch is on the bottom of your screen in that 2 car. They're pretty close to where he wants to be. He said the car is just a little bit tight now. They're going to take on 4 tires, up half a round on the track bar. Ralph?
Marty, as far as Martin Truex is concerned, he said, I don't think we should have done those 2 tires. They're going to give him a full 4 set here. They said they won't do it to him again. Now, in the last restart, the one had a slight vapor lock. So, guys, let's keep an eye on that as they get ready to go back to green.
Wow, that is something to keep your eye on.
That's the biggest break right there is the 1 car. This caution saved those guys, in my opinion, because I think they were going to fall way back into the middle of the field.
Carl Edwards, too fast exiting pit road. We'll restart at the tail end of the longest line when we go back to green flag racing. We're under caution. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. We're under caution here at Michigan. Juan Montoya has rubbed the wall. He had brushed it earlier, got the right front fender on the tire. And if you have really good eyesight and you look in the distance, you'll see Juan up into the wall. And that's a pretty good hit.
Yeah, that looked like he lost the right front tire there right before he ate the wall.
So the adventure for Juan Pablo Montoya continues.
Slow down. Make a swing right here if you can.
And the field will be coming to pit road, and now we're going to see some tire strategy perhaps on some of these cars. Mark Martin, by the way, in the 0-1, the lucky dog, will come around, be the 30th car on the lead lap. Montoya trying to get out of the way down there on pit road. Here comes a lot of traffic. Lindsay.
Carl Edwards had said before he was too loose to be competitive. They're going to bring his car in, and here will be some tire strategy because they're just going to give him 2 tires and fuel. Matt.
Jimmy Johnson leading the rest of the leaders down pit road, making his way to his stall. Johnson's in his car, still 2-3 on exit. He slides to a stop, off 4 and off 2. Chad Knaus calling for another air pressure change to Marty.
Kurt Busch is on the bottom of your screen in that 2 car. They're pretty close to where he wants to be. He said the car is just a little bit tight now. They're going to take on 4 tires, up half a round on the track bar. Ralph?
Marty, as far as Martin Truex is concerned, he said, I don't think we should have done those 2 tires. They're going to give him a full 4 set here. They said they won't do it to him again. Now, in the last restart, the one had a slight vapor lock. So, guys, let's keep an eye on that as they get ready to go back to green.
Wow, that is something to keep your eye on.
That's the biggest break right there is the 1 car. This caution saved those guys, in my opinion, because I think they were going to fall way back into the middle of the field.
Carl Edwards, too fast exiting pit road. We'll restart at the tail end of the longest line when we go back to green flag racing. We're under caution. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR on TNT. We're in Michigan for the Citizens Bank 400. Under caution, 71 laps are complete. Father-to-be, Jeff Gordon, is the new race leader. There you see the cars still under caution. There's Carl Edwards, too fast exiting pit road, has been back on to pit road.
Unbelievable. That's just unreal.
And why he's saying that is he doesn't believe he was speeding on pit road.
Yeah, but we talked earlier about this pit road. I think this is one of the best pit roads we have. The pit stalls are wide, they're long, and that's great for the teams. That makes it safer for the guys. And pit road itself, there's a couple of different exits, even though we've seen people run over each other. But the other thing about it is this. You have no sensation of speed when you're out there. You've really got to pay attention to your tack when you're leaving this pit road to keep it under the proper limit.
More from Lindsay.
It's over and done with. We're going to do it.
Like you guys said, Carl did just come back down here. They did give him 4 tires since he did have to go back to the line. And Kyle, I'm sure you can relate to this because his crew chief just got on and said, don't worry, we have a really, really fast race car. We're just going to roll right on front. But I know that Carl Edwards is chomping at the bit, not too happy.
Lindsay, he obviously doesn't believe he was speeding. He was caught in all that traffic, right?
Exactly.
There was a lot of traffic, the 1 and the 8.
Well, that's
came very close on
That's
there.
why you can't believe that you got caught for speeding, because you got cars all around you. And it's like, well, how did I get caught? And none of these other guys I'm running around get caught, and we're all on pit lane at the same time. So that's why, as a driver, you don't believe that you were speeding.
As a driver, you never believe anything's your fault anyhow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it is so
Actually,
easy.
as a person,
yeah, but
I don't ever believe that anything's
that's
my
true.
fault.
But it is so easy to get caught up when you're leaving pit road. When a guy comes out of his pit stall, he may be running faster than the proper limit, and then he backs it down.
Right.
And you're able to back it down. You get so caught up in trying to lunge and trying to get ahead of that guy leaving pit road. You know, you just want to beat that guy to the stoplight is basically what you're doing.
Larry McReynolds.
Well, guys, I want to talk about this 2-tire, 4-tire situation. You know, for a number of years coming here to Michigan, if the weather was cool, we definitely would go with just 2 right-side tires, especially after only running 14 laps as we did between caution 1 and caution 2. But I think we've talked about it since the top of the show. It's so hot here. The grip is so down. This is a little harder tire that doesn't have a lot of grip anyhow. I just think, for the most part, knowing that we could get those long green runs like we did when they dropped the green flag for the first 51 laps, I think changing just 2 right-side tires, you're absolutely playing with fire.
So the drivers and the crew chief are in agreement here?
Incredible.
If you're at home watching this, mark this day down. Father's Day 2007, drivers and crew chiefs agree.
Larry agrees.
All right, now I
with
do
the
promise this. If it doesn't work out, I'm not going to tell you I won't be back next week.
We learned our lesson there, didn't we?
We learned our
Absolutely.
lesson. Okay, open mouth, insert foot. I apologize.
It was good, though. Field gets the 1 to go right now, and we'll check in on our AutoZone in the zone drivers. Roger Penske, back-to-back wins here as an owner. Ryan Newman did it back in 03 and 04. Jack Roush with Greg Biffle. And Casey Kane.
They probably think that was 100 years ago.
Today they think it was 100 years
you know
ago.
what I mean?
And obviously Matt Kenseth in that last graphic drives for Jack Roush and not Ray Evernham.
This is a great shot here. This shot, for all you fans out there, is a Richard Petty shot. And it is. You still see photos, black and white photos today. My father would chew on a red rag just to suck the fluid out of it, the moisture out of the flag, or out of the rag, and to keep his face damp. It was just the air blowing up across that damp cloth would keep him cool.
Ever throw him a gas rag?
No.
Oh, they didn't? I thought they did it.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you meant did I? No.
they did.
I told you earlier, I spun him out one time. Hey, and let me just say, Happy Father's Day, Dad. I didn't mean to spin you out 20 years ago at Martinsville. But, you know, so I never did that. They did it to him. I didn't do it.
Came all the
Can
way
you
up
imagine
here
that?
That's an ugly surprise.
Oh, that would be ugly. A gas rag, and you put it in your mouth thinking it's going to make you better, man.
I think he told me that happened.
That's wrong. Oh, it's sure. It did. I thought you asked, was it me? No. I wouldn't be sitting here today if it was.
Pace car heads to pit road. Jeff Gordon leads Sterling Moreland, Jimmy Johnson, J.J. Yaley, who took 2 tires, and Kurt Busch, and the rest of the field to the restart here at Michigan. Whoa!
Newman's doing everything he can to try to get some of those laps back.
Rolls around off the front of Jeff Green. Ryan Newman cautions out.
And there's the 1 car.
Yep. And Vickers, 83.
Matt Kenseth, the 17.
A lot of good cars right there.
I tell you, the 1 car doesn't look hurt right there, just at first glance. Flat tire. Just needs to keep
Here, ease it around. You got plenty of time. We just got spun down the back, guys. They were checking up in front of us and got hit from behind.
He's got a little damage there in the left rear. That might affect him a little bit. Boy, Brian Vickers having a good run.
Vickers was
The front's dead.
from the chopper. This is Newman, who's several laps down.
And I'm going to say from that angle, Newman could turn left on the 66. I don't think that was Jeff Green's fault. Newman got a run on him, went to the outside, knew he couldn't get up into the leader. Obviously, he did not want to get into the 24 car, cut back across the hood of the 66. So I'm going to call it that more than the other.
Well, I don't.
You call it one way, I'll call it the other.
I call it looked like Jeff Green's car took off up the racetrack.
This is the ugly part.
Yeah.
You see this, and we see this so many times in this sport. There's an accident that happens, but there's a bigger accident trying to avoid the main accident. And you see two cars get together, they both get taken out themselves. Look behind, look behind. You see the wreck here, but look behind as you see this right here. These guys are checking up, and boom, they just start jumping out of the pack. You can't see it. We moved, or the camera goes the other way, but you see the smoke on down. These guys are checking up. There's no place for anybody to go.
And try and watch for the 8 in here, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. has already been on and off of pit road. This is on board with Gordon.
We're all around. Caution behind you. Caution behind you.
On board, Kevin Harvick.
Spin in front of you. Go low. I don't know what to do there.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. You don't want to get out of the gas too hard because you know you'll get hit. So you got to kind of try to stay on the gas, not to hit the guy in front of you, but also hope the guy behind you is not going to clobber you.
And the problem is, when you get to that point, as we saw in the photo, they're 4 wide. So you can't go left, you can't go right, because the cars are so deep on each side of you, you've got no place to escape.
There's the damage on the 66. Now, we're told Dale Earnhardt Jr. was not involved in that crash, but did not come up to speed on the restart. Let's watch. It's Jr. in the 8. Clearly off the pace.
Yeah, it looks like he thinks he has a flat tire, perhaps. I don't think that was a motor thing. It looked like he was just fighting that car.
Yeah, I'm with you. It almost looked like he had a flat tire the way the car wiggled around. I don't know if he was weaving back and forth trying to check and see.
Check it up there, Hootie.
This is live. Second visit to pit road.
Spotted Jack stand under there.
Kevin Harvick is on pit road. Carl Edwards has just left his stall. Greg Biffle also making a stop.
He's got into something with the valence because they're kicking the valence out. You see him with the duckbills right there in the middle, pulling that valence back out. There's a valence bar under there. You see the guys twisting, just pulling up at themselves and beating it out.
Well, they're doing
he's hit something at some point in time, whether before the wreck or during the wreck. It's rolled that up under it.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job.
That's downforce right there, man.
Oh, yeah.
He is adding downforce, and guess what? That car doesn't have to go back through the temple room when this thing's over with.
But whatever he hit, it must have been pretty big and pretty hard because they're pounding on that thing.
There is no lucky dog because it would have been Jeff Green. He was involved in the caution.
Yeah, it had to be big enough to move that bar, and that's a pretty decent bar under there. You know, it's braced up to the sway bar tube and a lot of that stuff. But you see, they just kind of picked it back out.
I wonder if he popped something leaving pit lane.
It almost looked like it did whenever, remember, and we've all seen this, you hit a tire on pit road and cave that middle in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. When you hit something right dead in the center and move the center in, it creates a little bit of havoc with that bar and the ductwork and everything, but it's like they were trying to pull that back out and straighten it. It doesn't appear to be any other damage to the car, though.
Now, you heard him ask, he was worried about how bad the damage was, and he said they're doing a good job.
Okay, this is his onboard on the restart.
See, the car's just wiggling. He just feels like there's something wrong with the chassis right there, and that's why he rolled out of it. Probably saved him from being in the middle of that wreck, too.
Ralph?
Maybe he's getting that information.
He's already on the information pipeline. My goodness.
Ralph?
Well, what happened is if you go back to lap 69, that's when he made his third pit stop of the day. When he was exiting pit lane going around the apron, he said he ran over something. He didn't really think he did any damage to the car. But once he got going on that restart, he realized he had a flat right rear. And that's why Junior had to come down pit lane.
Matt Kenseth has gone to the garage. He has completed every lap run this year until now.
He may have had a flat right rear, but he still hit something. I mean, they're still doing that work on that left front for some reason.
There's a 17 of Kenseth back in the garage. Matt came into this race second in the championship standings. Ralph, you got some more for us?
Yeah, well, he did run over something. As I said, he came down along the apron, exiting out of pit lane. He ran over some debris that was sitting on the racetrack. Apparently, there was a big chunk of something that did not get swept off. That's when he ran over. He didn't think he did any damage, but apparently he did to the valence and that right rear.
Coming back to you, Ralph.
And that very well could have been, because during that last caution, they blew off that corner when Montoya had hit the wall and blew all that stuff down to the apron. And he could have hit something leaving pit road on that they just didn't see.
And like I said, that right rear going down probably saved him being in the middle of that wreck.
Tail end alarm.
Looks pretty good.
Looks really good. They did a really, really good job of putting that thing back and getting it to where he's coming.